In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, Vietnam and Indonesia forge strategic business alliance for economic growth. Later on, Prime Minister urges major reforms to boost business climate and growth. In a world news, South Korea and the US hold large-scale military drills.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lilin Lei with the latest updates. On the top news of this hour, during his state visit to Indonesia, Party General Secretary Theo attended a high-level Vietnam-Indonesia business dialogue Monday morning, themed Vietnam and Indonesia, a partnership for progress and prosperity. General Secretary Theo noted that despite significant progress in nearly 70 years of diplomatic relations between the two nations, there remains substantial room for deeper collaboration. He urged Indonesian businesses to increase their investments in Vietnam, particularly in technology, innovation, cheap manufacturing, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and financial technology hubs, while continuing to support Vietnamese companies' expansion efforts. Vietnam pledged to maintain favorable conditions for business growth. General Secretary Theo expressed hope for businesses from both countries to forge a new era of cooperation. The visit culminated in the signing of several business agreements between the two nations. Prime Minister Phie issued a directive on Sunday calling on the heads of ministries, departments, and local governments to focus on cutting administrative procedures, improving the business climate, and boosting socio-economic development. The directive requests a 30% reduction in administrative processing time, compliance costs, and unnecessary business conditions. The government will also crack down on harassment, corruption, and bureaucratic inefficiencies affecting businesses and citizens. Any matters beyond relevant agencies' authorities must be reported to the Prime Minister by March the 31st. Additionally, he called for increased investment in science and technology and for policies aimed at attracting and retaining highly skilled professionals both locally and internationally. The Prime Minister also requested the expansion of e-visa policies, the reduction of VAT in the second half of 2025, and completed plans for promoting the private economy and managing virtual and cryptocurrency assets. All initiatives have specific deadlines, with reports due to the government by mid-March. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn led the 43rd meeting of the National Assembly Standing Committee on Monday morning to discuss several crucial matters. Over the course of 2.5 days, the committee will review and provide feedback on 8 draft laws, which will then be presented for approval for first discussion at the 9th session of the National Assembly. Notable legislation under review includes the Personal Data Protection Law, the Emergency Law, and the Law on Participation in UN Peacekeeping Forces. The National Assembly chairman emphasized that the upcoming session faces a substantial workload, especially regarding constitutional review and amendments to organizational laws, so relevant agencies and units must complete their research before the June 30th deadline. During the morning session, the Standing Committee also provided feedbacks on amendments to the law on product quality and the law on railways. Currently, investors and contractors are accelerating progress on the eastern part of the North-South Expressway project, despite frequent rain and storms. Construction units are working with determination to complete the project by its April the 30th deadline this year. This report comes from Phie.
Despite nearly a week of drizzle and cold wind at the Hàm Nghi Vũng Áng section of the North-South Expressway project, workers and engineers continue constructing guardrails and laying the CTP base layer. Once the sun comes out, these sections will be paved with asphalt.
On rainy days, we use the time to lay the CTP base layer, while on sunny days, we work overtime to pave sections like C25, C19, C16. When weather conditions are favorable, we maintain operations across 3 shifts.
On the Bãi Vọt Hàm Nghi section of the North-South Expressway project, contractors are persevering through prolonged rain, cold weather, and challenging geological and hydrological conditions to keep construction on schedule.
Currently, we have resolved all the weak soil on the project and directed construction teams to work through the night. If the weather is unfavorable, we will set up tents.
The eastern section of the North-South Expressway, 2021 to 2025 phase, running through Hà Tĩnh, spans over 102 kilometers. At present, investors and construction teams are committed to completing the project before April the 30th this year.
Moving on to other news, on March the 7th, India lifted its ban on the export of 100% broken rice, driven by the country's record-high rice stockpiles, which are nearly 9 times the government's target. The Indian Rice Exporters Association estimates India will export approximately 2 million tons of 100% broken rice this year. This marks the second time India has reversed this ban. When it was previously lifted in October 2024, global rice prices fell sharply. Vietnam's head of trade office in India, Bùi Trung Thương, explained that India's decision is based on projected increases in rice cultivation and production. However, he warned that the global rice market faces additional pressure as prices continue to decline. The price of 5% broken rice from Vietnam and Thailand has already dropped by 38 to 45%. Despite these changes, rice prices are expected to stabilize at current levels without further significant decreases. To achieve the economic growth target of 8% and above this year, Vietnam is focusing on 2 key strategies: boosting domestic consumption and increasing net exports. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized these priorities during a recent meetings with the Central Policy and Strategy Committee. Major industries like wood products, seafood, and textiles can significantly contribute to growth by enhancing their exports to match their potential while sourcing domestic raw materials and machinery. This approach would increase the trade surplus and deliver a substantial boost to overall economic growth.
The factory has invested in sewing machines to effectively join peeled boards together and uses the latest technology to apply smooth melamine coatings on plywood surfaces. This process improves product quality, enabling sales at double the price of regular products.
Due to lack of capital, farmers often harvest wood trees before they reach the required age. I truly hope the forestry industry will provide solutions to support both farmers and businesses in growing 5 to 7-year-old trees for high-quality production.
To reduce costs and increase net exports, businesses are encouraged to source their raw materials, machinery, and equipment domestically. Additionally, proposals have been made to provide credit support to small and medium enterprises to stimulate growth.
Our experience working with both cultivation units and large processing facilities shows that businesses lacking capital must wait for orders before investing, causing them to miss valuable opportunities.
Meanwhile, ministries and agencies are streamlining administrative procedures for export promotion, including customs and taxes. The goal is to reduce processing times by at least 30%, thereby lowering costs for businesses.
The biggest challenge now is making significant improvements. Simply cutting minor, unimportant procedures won't make a real difference. We must eliminate regulations that genuinely burden businesses. Only then will we make substantial progress.
This year, the State Bank of Vietnam has targeted 16% credit growth, equivalent to injecting over $104 million into the economy. To avoid a growth bubble, policies must prioritize removing barriers to capital flow in production and export sectors. This approach would strengthen net export growth while supporting sustainable economic development.
Vietnam's coffee export prices have skyrocketed in the first few months of this year. The average price in February reached nearly $5,700 per ton, an increase of almost 5% from the previous month and a remarkable 71% jump compared to the same period last year. Over the first 2 months of 2025, Vietnam exported 284,000 tons of coffee, worth a total of $1.58 billion. Despite a nearly 30% drop in volume compared to the previous year, the value of exports increased by over 26%, thanks to consistently high coffee prices. Experts predict that Vietnam's coffee export revenue could exceed $6 billion this year. Germany, Italy, and Japan continue to be the country's top 3 coffee markets. Now, before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's market. Coming up next on VTV News. Crime ring dismantled in major bank account laundering operation. And later on, Laogai province integrates ethnic cultural heritage into education. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. Efforts are intensifying to complete the construction of the Nam Dinh-Lac Quan coastal road before July the 1st. Spanning more than 25 kilometers and costing over $235 million, this strategic infrastructure project is designed to connect Nam Dinh City with neighboring coastal districts. After more than 2 years of construction, the project is about 65% complete, with all phases remaining on schedule. This road will significantly enhance regional connectivity and is a key part of Vietnam's broader development plan. A criminal group involved in the illegal buying, storing, and trafficking of bank account information for money laundering has just been dismantled by the Hai Dung Investigation Police Department. In this group, the masterminds and key operators were foreign individuals who used sophisticated tactics.
During an inspection of an apartment in Vo Cuong Ward, Bac Ninh, police found 3 foreign individuals who were renting the unit and displaying suspicious signs of illegal bank account activity. Officers seized nearly 60 mobile phones, 3 laptops, and other related items. The suspects confessed to working under an unidentified foreign individual, buying bank accounts, and laundering illegal funds from abroad.
I worked for my boss. I was active for about a month and earned about 1,175 USD before I was arrested.
This is the individual suspected of assisting the foreign criminal group. He admitted to creating multiple Telegram accounts to facilitate illegal bank account transactions.
I got to know people who wanted to sell their bank accounts on social media and introduced them to this Taiwanese group.
Police uncovered the case after detecting suspicious large-sum transfers from abroad into Vietnamese commercial bank accounts. The criminal group had bought more than 130 bank accounts, paying between $20 and $157 US for each one.
The investigation revealed that the group successfully received around $6.6 million US and transferred approximately $6.2 million US.
The group is scheduled for trial in mid-March. Based on the nature and severity of their crimes, participants could face criminal charges carrying prison sentences of 10 to 15 years.
Last weekend in Hanoi, various activities were held featuring the implementation of 6 lessons that Uncle Ho taught the People's Public Security Forces. The Hoan Kiem Lake area featured martial arts performances by the forces, along with multi-sensory exhibitions and kiosks demonstrating digital application models. These events drew hundreds of thousands of locals and tourists.
The exhibition area, which was organized by the Police Department for Administrative Management of Social Order, showcased convenient solutions from Project Number 6. It included medical examination and treatment registration, public service registration, and various digital transformation model solutions. The AI camera section, designed for detecting and preventing street crimes, proved especially popular and drew significant attention.
I find this Vietnamese-made camera very useful. It makes facial detection and visualization incredibly straightforward.
Technology now enables people to live with greater security and safety. It provides peace of mind during their daily activities.
The multi-sensory exhibition room drew thousands of visitors, primarily young people.
I'm extremely proud of the public security forces. They show strong determination to fulfill their duties and ensure peace for the people.
The kiosks displaying solutions and utilities from Project 6 offer vivid, interactive experiences, helping visitors better understand the technologies and applications. This effort promotes digital transformation, and these models have been already implemented across many localities.
During his lifetime, late President Ho Chi Minh emphasized the vital importance of planting trees and transforming barren lands and hills into green spaces. In response to his teachings, the tree planting movement has flourished. Once barren lands are now covered with thriving forests, which protect the environment while providing steady income for many people.
In Ngọc Phie Commune, Zap received a contract to protect 30 hectares of forest and 3 hectares of production forest land. He invested in planting magnolia coniferous trees, and within just a decade, the once bare hill transformed into a lush magnolia coniferous forest.
According to Uncle Ho's teachings, we must plant and protect forests. We have been doing this since 1992. Now they have all become big trees.
Ngọc Phie Commune is one of 16 communes in Area 1, a particularly difficult area of Bagan province. The local population consists mainly of Tây, Nung and Dao ethnic groups. Due to the steep mountainous terrain, agricultural land is limited. Natural forests and production forests grow side by side throughout the area.
In accordance with the Sustainable Forestry Development Program, the commune has deployed it to all individuals' households. Households regularly take care of the existing forest area well, and at the same time, develop planted forests to preserve rare plant resources.
Planting trees is essential to creating forests. Every year, Chợ Đồn district aims to plant 500 hectares of trees to expand forest coverage.
Currently, all localities are restoring forests on previously exploited forest land, bare hills, and mountains. We also plant large timber forests to provide additional income for residents.
With climate change becoming increasingly complex, planting and protecting forests has become an urgent priority.
Guangnan provincial authorities announced on Saturday a new tourism route linking 3 iconic destinations, Hội An, Mỹ Sơn, and Đông Giang Heaven Gate. Stretching nearly 100 kilometers, the route showcases the region's stunning landscape, rich culture, and warm hospitality. Hội An Town, a UNESCO-recognized World Heritage Site, is famed for its ancient architecture and cultural heritage. Mỹ Sơn Sanctuary, also UNESCO-listed, features a complex of Cham Towers. Đông Giang Heaven Gate, an ecotourism gem, boasts the largest number of natural waterfalls in Vietnam and the striking Ngọc Dông Glass Bridge. The new route is expected to boost tourism in western Guangnan. Since 2012, Laogai Province education sector has integrated local ethnic culture and history into school curricula. By weaving cultural identity into lessons and educational activities, they have developed a model of ethnic cultural schools that connects with local communities. This approach has proven especially effective in mountainous areas and among ethnic groups, enhancing both educational quality and cultural preservation.
This school educates Hmong ethnic students, with their community's cultural essence woven throughout the lessons. Students learn about the vibrant colors of traditional costumes and participate in lively folk games. The study corners feature natural, beautiful decorations with brocade paintings.
For preschool students, we mainly focus on preserving traditional clothing. Teachers encourage them to play folk games. We also ask artisans to come and share their knowledge of ethnic culture.
Women from the community actively participate in extracurricular activities. Parents beam with pride as they watch their children learn in this friendly, culturally rooted environment.
I always come to help with whatever programs the teachers have, such as teaching the children embroidery. Being here, sharing these experiences with them, makes me feel very happy and proud.
Cultural spaces in Highland schools have become more appealing through activities such as brocade embroidery lessons, bamboo stick dances, panpipe performances, shoy dances, and bamboo pole dancing. These cultural preservation efforts continue to expand, involving not just teachers and students, but the entire community.
Partnering with businesses is an effective way to preserve ethnic culture while also helping reduce street vending, which used to be a common issue in the locality.
Teaching students to recognize, appreciate, and cherish their ethnic culture fosters a deeper sense of responsibility. Through these meaningful activities, local education sectors are creating healthy, welcoming school environments that enhance educational quality.
The recent Ho Chi Minh City Outside Festival captivated audiences with its creative storytelling, portraying historical narratives through Outside. The festival featured numerous engaging interactive activities, making it a must-see attraction.
Letters from the City is one of 17 collections showcasing Ho Chi Minh City's 50-year history and development. A highlight of the collection is the series of stamps on letters that connected soldiers at the front lines with their families back home. The Outside designs convey Vietnam's historical legacy and progress to visitors.
I really like wearing Outside, and today I was very surprised to see how diverse and creative Outside designs can be.
Many visitors to Vietnam are interested in local stamps, and that is also the inspiration for this collection. Our aim is to tell stories through fashion that create a sense of familiarity for visitors.
This year's festival serves as the opening cultural and tourism event in a series celebrating the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South, the country's reunification, and Ho Chi Minh City's development.
The Ho Chi Minh City is very well. It's nice festival. It's nice traditional Vietnam people. It's very nice.
This year's festival not only promotes Ao Dai, but is also expected to become one of the city's featured tourism offerings.
Through its diverse and meaningful activities, the Ho Chi Minh City Ao Dai Festival serves as both a unique cultural tourism attraction and an important economic driver for the city. It helps promote local tourism while enhancing Ho Chi Minh City's image worldwide.
Coming up next in our world news. South Korea and the US hold large-scale military drills. And later on, Egypt proposes new ceasefire order in Gaza. Now moving over to our world news, South Korea and the US began their annual joint military drills on Monday to enhance defense capabilities across various scenarios. Named Freedom Shield, these drills, the first large-scale military exercise between the two countries since US President Donald Trump took office, are expected to last until March the 20th and involve approximately 19,000 soldiers. The exercise includes computer simulations and 16 large-scale field exercises designed to improve coordination between the forces of both countries. Freedom Shield ranks as one of the two largest annual drills between the two countries, simulating a full-scale war. North Korea has issued several statements opposing the drills, asserting they pose a threat to the country's security. On March 9th, Egypt proposed new measures to Israel and Hamas to end the deadlock since the initial ceasefire in Gaza ended on March the 1st. The proposal calls for Hamas to implement a 2-month ceasefire and release 10 living hostages, including some or all of the 5 American hostages. Egypt's proposal requires Israel to release an unspecified number of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the hostages. Israel must also lift its humanitarian aid restrictions on Gaza, begin discussions about withdrawing its forces, and work toward establishing a permanent ceasefire. The UAE's national news reported that Hamas gave an encouraging initial response. Israeli officials are currently reviewing the proposals and will send a delegation to Qatar on March the 10th to advance ceasefire negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed on Sunday that his administration is in talks with 4 companies about purchasing the social media platform TikTok, which is currently owned by China's ByteDance. Neither TikTok nor ByteDance has responded to the news. TikTok has become the center of political and national security debates in the U.S. since former President Joe Biden signed a law requiring ByteDance to sell the platform or face a ban by January the 19th, 2025. After taking office on January the 20th, President Trump signed an executive order extending the law's enforcement deadline by 75 days. Analysts estimate that the social media platform could be worth up to $50 billion. Food is currently one of the largest expenses for Australian households. Rising inflation has forced many people to find ways to cut down on daily meal costs. Let's look into the following story to find out more.
Like most Australians, Beck Coker used to shop at local supermarkets. However, rising prices have changed everything. Her weekly spending, which used to range from $190 to $220 now forces her to turn to charitable organizations like Puddle Jumpers for support.
It's just unimaginable. Everything is increasing, and I'm very lucky to have a home, I feel.
According to a survey by the consumer advocacy group Choice, the regions of Western Australia and the Northern Territory have the highest food prices. Many people, like Carl Higgs in Melbourne, have opted to buy in bulk online, prioritizing local stores.
Going to a local fruit and veg shop, they often are cheaper, it's more seasonal, it's fresher.
Higgs shared that he also grows herbs and bakes his own bread at home. As prices continue to rise, many cost-saving solutions have become a lifeline for the people of Australia.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download the mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.